Well, thanks for staying with us. This is Editors Forum. Let's talk about Nigeria's economy now, and of course the oil sector, very, very important. I asked a question just before the break. I asked if Nigerians are finally going to smile now that the government says it's ready to invest $1.5 billion on the Port Harcourt Refinery. Guess what? My guests here in the studios all laughed. I don't know if it was just a mischievous laugh, but whatever it was. However, my guests, my virtual guests as well, also joined in sharing that. I see the new one was playing out here. Let me begin with Samson in the UK, Southampton precisely. Samson, chartered economist, why are you not optimistic about this? From your smile, actually.
When I heard that news, I bursted into laughter. It's just like when you are chasing a goose, when it's more like a goose chase for me. It's like chasing a white elephant project. You know, first and foremost, you ask, what is the antecedent of this government in terms of delivering projects like this one? How far have they gone with the Warri and the Kaduna refineries that they started, revamping since 2019? Those are even smaller refineries compared to this Port Harcourt, and you ask yourself, do we really have the resources to go on this revamping? The previous project that they've embarked on like that, how well have they gone with it? So when you look at it, you knew where this money is going to end up. It's going to end up in some people's pockets, and eventually the revamping will be done. We wouldn't be able to refine any oil or petroleum until after this government is ready to leave, and that's the end of it. But I tell you, everything with governance starts with will, purpose to do. So when you see that the willingness to do the needful is not assured, then the next thing you do is just continue to laugh because there's no other option to do. There's nothing you want to do. You ask yourself, do we even have $1.5 billion? We are going to have to go and borrow this money. So when we borrow this money, our debt profile increases, and we continue to service this debt for as long as only God knows what. So you look at it. If they were really, really purposeful about it, why not apply the same methodology they applied to NLNG? Transform this refinery into a limited liability company and let private sector participation buy in shareholding into this company and run it the way NLNG is being run. That is the only business investment of Nigerian government that is purposeful and that is profiting as of today. So why not adopt that methodology? And then you ask yourself, what is even the future of petrol refining in another 10 years and 15 and 20 years from now? All the countries of the world who patronize us for petroleum are actually phasing out petroleum use because of ecology. People are going into electric cars and all. They are looking at how they can phase out petroleum. And we are looking at how we can put in investments, massive investment. You can imagine, why are we revamping a 30-year-old refinery? Ask yourself, why not build a new one? Why not use that money to complete the one you have commenced and make sure that it becomes fruitful? As of today, we have crude oil, we don't refine. We refine as little. And those modular refineries that have been created in the south are the ones providing this little ones that we're talking about. We still largely import petrol, and Nigerian government cannot even control the price. So when you look at our government saying they want to do things, we don't have a system that works. It's so sad. This kind of project, when it goes to the National Assembly is supposed to scrutinize this project and ensure the viability of this decision. But sadly, our National Assembly is just like a rubber stamp. The FAC or the executives are also a rubber stamp. Nobody is actually vetting or asking the questions we have a redundant refinery. We are paying, accruing liabilities every month, expenditure on a monthly basis. I don't know who does that. Who does that? Who run a business like that? The Nigerian government does not have the capacity to run a business venture. They are supposed to stay into regulation and management of process, not running investments. They are not designed to run investment, because investment needs a long-term plan. It requires a short-term plan and also a medium-term plan. But the way our system is structured, you can barely get that, because our tenure of governance turns every 4 to 8 years. So, and for you to get a positive impact in terms of deliverable, you actually need nothing less than 10, 20, 40-year plan. Nobody can do that, because every government runs to complete their race every 8 years. Buhari will go in 2023. Another government will come in. And that same project, this Buhari has borrowed $1.5 billion to start. They will come and say that project is, they will not find out that that project is no longer viable, and they will stall it. But the debt they have borrowed will continue to pay into the future. Look at it. So I don't know why they want to begin to run investment. For me, as far as I'm concerned, they do not have the capacity to maintain a refinery. What they should do is focus on establishing a process and a system that provides an enabling environment for businesses to come into that venture.
All right, Samson, I'd like to thank you so much for your opening thoughts there. We will check in with you very quickly just before the end of the show. But gentlemen, as we look at this issue, I mean, I was thinking that those from the Niger Delta region would probably be excited about this. I mean, there have been calls for the government, for the leadership, to make our refineries work again. I mean, that's one of the manifesto or the campaign promise from this particular administration, that we're going to fix our economies, our refineries rather, and all of that. And however, it does appear that a lot of persons don't seem to agree with this. And one of such persons is someone I respect so much, the former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi. He said in his exact words that approving such an amount for refinery repairs in light of Nigeria's economic situation is a huge waste.
Background.
Is that what it is?
That is background for it. Nothing more. No more, no less. You see, if we look at the antecedents of projects in this country.
I was just going to ask, fixing or repairing or refurbishing and creating building a new one.
I will get there. I will get there.
All right.
It's not only to this government alone. It has been happening. Even during Baba Obasanjo's tenure, the same thing happened. Turn around maintenance. Okay? We knew how much money were being deployed to all those refineries. Until today, we are still deploying money there. All right? So what I'm saying is, it is not a ploy of this government alone, but it is a pity that we are not having a well conceived and how do I put it now, pragmatic citizen. Because even we ourselves, we have not been able to change the narratives of agitation towards better government. And I'll give you instance. Labour, each time they increase prices of pump prices, they will be, no, we should reduce it. Okay, give us palliative, give us this. But our is beyond that. When you are being given palliative as regards increment now, they will come back again and increase it. We will be asking for palliative again. Why don't we just stop what is making us to increase this pump price all of the time? And what is it? Lack of refining facilities. Two, when Professor Oshibajo was in charge the other time, he went to the South, and we were talking about fake refineries, this and that, and then they will start modular refinery. Come and tell me, since those days, where are those modular refineries? Between you and me, I said it at that point. I said all these refineries are calling illegal refineries. The thing is, are they refining or not? They are. If not, you will not call them illegal refineries. Now, what is it that is making those refineries to be illegal? Probably you are saying those guys working there, they are not well trained, they are not well monitored, they are not well controlled. They put the system and process, like that guy in UK was talking about, in place, so that you can control all those things and then improve on the standard. Do you understand? With that, you will even have a lot of them in better employment. They won't be stealing the crude oil again. You will have control over the crude oil that is being used.
All right.
Another aspect, the old money you have been spending on subsidy, the old money you have been spending on turnaround maintenance, this again $1.5 billion. My brother, let everybody go and do that research. How much will it cost to build one modular refinery? And within what space of time can you build a modular refinery? If only government had listened, if only we have made our agitation on this particular pivot, by now we shouldn't be saying what we are saying again. There is no state in Nigeria that wouldn't be having at least one or two modular refineries.
Let's hear Mohammed very quickly, please, as we begin to wind down now. Just your thoughts about this.
It's actually very shocking news, seriously, because according to statistics, about 5 refineries in Nigeria, including this particular Port Harcourt refinery, had made losses of more than 1.5 trillion in the past 5 years.
I was just looking at that report as well.
1.5 trillion.
Yes.
That is more than 10, 15, 20% of Nigeria's national budget this year. So what it means is that government, I'm so sorry to keep saying it, have no capacity in managing business. It's as simple as that. The guy in UK mentioned that only the NLNG as a government business venture is actually making profit, and that's the truth. So why do you keep spending money? And to say this, I understand that the government mentioned the refineries, particularly this Port Harcourt refinery, as part of the business they are willing to sell to fund the 2021 budget. So if you want to sell, do away with it. So why are you now putting in money to rehabilitate?
There are some reactions here. Let's see who can quickly take them now. This one says the federal government knows what they are doing. Only we Nigerians, we are just okay. Evaluating FG's $1.5 billion approval. This country is unstable, but they do announce such crippling news, but they have also failed to evaluate the plans. Okay, I'm trying to make sense of that. This one sent a reaction from Makodi Avia. He says your current affairs program about security in Nigeria is timely and a plus. Hit it hard, he says. Well, we're trying our best to hit it hard. I hope NBC does not come to hit us hard as well. He also says, concerning the security situation in Nigeria, my humble opinion is that the government of the day is still playing politics with the issue of security in the country. I want to submit without bias that it's favoring them and it's a plot for more anarchy in 2023. We cannot take calls, please. Let's see who can take this other message. It says, good afternoon to you all. My take, the security situation in Kaduna and other parts of Nigeria is a pity and very shameful. Life has become very short. It says nasty and brutish. Well, I don't know if those are English words. Brutish, no. The primary responsibility of every responsible government is the protection of lives and properties. With all indications, this present government, he says or she says, has failed woefully in that regard. Too bad. Okay, Marcos from Abuja sends that one in. Thank you so much, Marcos, and to other contributors as well. Let's see if we can take this one quickly. It's from Deji Johnson. He says, the repair of the Port Harcourt refinery is in order. A new plant of that capacity would cost between $5 billion and $6.5 billion. $1.5 billion to bring it back to specification is a bargain. So, I mean, some people think, look, this is a great idea after all.
Yes, depending on which perspective they are looking at it.
Okay, let's see. Emmanuel is standing by. Emmanuel in Kaduna. I don't know what's the very latest with the refinery in Kaduna State. People have actually expressed a lot of reactions as to why exactly do we even need refineries there. The region is not an oil-producing region. Why do we need a refinery in the north? Help us understand what is playing out there and the latest update with that refinery, if I may ask.
The latest update from here is that I don't even remember the last time I saw the chimney with the smoke. So I am beginning to even forget that Kaduna has a refinery. That is the latest. With respect to this $1.5 billion for the repairs, whatever it is, of the Port Harcourt refinery, I think there are two categories of people that appreciate this effort of the government. The first group of people is a group that knows that it is not going to work, consistent with what this government has become notorious for, promise and fail. Now, so they are happy, but they know that it is going to benefit them individually, but it is not going to work for us, as some people are thinking that it would. Then the other group is the people who are sincerely ignorant about the politics of this. Because this is pure politics. We are getting close to 2023, and I think some people want to find money for their own politicking. So this thing is a waste of allocation. And unfortunately, the kind of National Assembly that we have now, for God's sake, when APC, when this particular government was in the opposition, they asked all the right questions. Now that they are in government, they appear to have been caught flat-footed. All the questions that they asked outside, they don't have the answer to them. Otherwise, they would, if they were in opposition, they would have asked questions as to why should we waste money on this kind of useless venture.
Emmanuel, we have to end our conversation there with you, unfortunately, because according to the rules of engagement, we need to close right now. But thank you so much, Emmanuel, in Kaduna, and of course, Emmanuel Zaka, live for us in Kaduna, public affairs analyst, and of course, from the United Kingdom, Samson Shoebi, a chartered economist, also shared his thoughts with us. Unfortunately, we lost connection with him, and then he's back now, but we have to go. But Samson, thank you so much. Emmanuel, thank you so much. And of course, here in the studios, Mohammed Abdullahi, public relations consultant, was also here with us. Thank you so much, Mohammed. And of course, political technocrats, such a unique designation. Dr. Dayo Kaide, thank you so much for your thoughts.
Thank you. And that's why you always have unique contributions also from me.